Hello, everyone watching this. My name is Abigail Monteith. Some of you may have known me before COVID started, some of you may have not, but this is my Spring 2020 deep dive project that I worked on for this semester. So as well as everyone else's, I had about two options to choose from. I mostly narrowed down my topics to something I would do in my spare time versus something that I normally wouldn't do. And so my two options were creating a short film using stop motion, which is based on the stop motion assignment we did, I think, maybe 1 week before our proposals. And then my other option was creating a screenplay for a short film. Most of the time with my stories, I like to write in script format just to get dialogue down, so I'm kind of familiar with the screenplay format. So in the end, I decided to create a short film using stop motion, since it would be a challenge for me and then it would help practice on the things that I didn't do very well on the stop motion assignment. So the film is an extended version of my stop motion picture, which was called Everything Bra, and it's basically about my stuffed animals messing around in my kitchen. One stuffed animal in particular likes cooking, though he's bad at it because he just puts everything in a pot and calls it a day. Although my deep dive project has more scenes, more music, more stuffed animals, and definitely steadier camera shots. So what I used for the project was Samsung Galaxy 8 for filming, though it's not the best. It did make decent footage. I used my Mac Air 13 to upload all the footage onto. I have a small tripod, no extended legs, although I would have liked it, but they were over $30, so I just went with the cheaper option. I used big books for balancing the small tripod for high up angles, although with higher up angles, I just had to hold the tripod myself. I used stuffed animals for my actors because they just kind of sit around my room all day with no purpose. And since I loved them to death as a kid, I thought it'd be fun to use them again. I had cooking utensils around the kitchen, and then the food I used, I tried not to use non-perishable items and just went with like sauces and dry stuff that we don't really use. Although I did waste goldfish crackers, so take that with a grain of salt. I used the stop motion studio app that we used for the stop motion assignment just because it's good at taking out certain shots that don't look good and changing the pacing of the scene. And then I used Wondershare Filmora 9 for the movie maker, although for reasons I'm going to state later, I will not use this again. So the recording process is that I made notes early semester about camera angles and lighting that I would use to depict a scene. Since it's hard for my stuffed animals to emote, I'd have to like convey a shot using lighting and then just using the angles to help show that they're like talking to each other or having a conversation. And so basically throughout the week, I would pick a time of day to work on this, somewhere between 3 to 9 p.m. And I'd try to work on weekdays, although this changed when weeks turned into yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For the still shots, I used the Samsung camera app. And then for animated shots, when they would be moving, I used the stop motion app. And then because of the stop motion app, it helped me edit certain movements. One scene would usually take about 2 to 3 hours at most to record. And because stop motion takes like time and patience, definitely 2 hours at most is when I would be recording a certain scene, just because I had to go back and fix certain shots. And once all the footage was recorded, I would upload it onto my computer, and then I would start editing it on the Movie Maker app. So most of the challenges I faced along the way was that the tripod I found to be a big issue because sometimes it wouldn't stay steady, and since it was very small, I could take eye level shots, but in a certain way. Uploading footage was also an issue because I couldn't just upload it onto my computer. I had to email like footage to myself, and sometimes the emails just wouldn't send. Movie Maker would sometimes glitch out, and as I mean when I'm like editing, like adding subtitles or adding music, the app would just cancel itself, and so I'd have to go back into the app and just fix everything that did not save, which took a long time for me to finish my film. Stuffed animals, while they're fun to work with, they're not very good for manipulating. And basically I could have been better off with like a Lego or something a little more steadier. Because COVID-19 ruins everything, there were major script changes. So something that was supposed to be like 10 minutes turned into 6 minutes. Just because I couldn't film certain scenes and because certain locations were shut down, I couldn't record any scenes there either. So what I want to take away from the project is that stop motion takes a lot of time and patience. I definitely need a better tripod. And I think if I want to do stop motion in the future, maybe I shouldn't use stuffed animals, but at the same time, I kind of want to continue using stuffed animals. I would need to figure out a better way of working on this while also working on other projects. Just because I had other classes, it was hard to really balance when I would film something versus working on stuff for the other class. I definitely want to learn to pace myself better when working on projects such as these because, like, even though I thought I could get it done in a short amount of time, it definitely took longer than that. And I think definitely the most I want to take away from this is that because it was so enjoyable, I like to work on more films over the summer to get more practice. I think it'd be like a lot of fun to work on more stop motion, but I think at first I might just want to work on like regular motion and see where I go from there. And so here's the link to my film. I don't know if you can access it through this video, but when I upload my PowerPoint, you'll be able to click on it and then watch the YouTube video from my channel. So yeah, thank you to everyone who watched this. I hope everyone's doing well in these trying times, and we made it.